The Free State of Coburg emerged from the Duchy of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha at the end of the First World War. It existed from November 1918 until its union with the Free State of Bavaria on 1 July 1920. History. With the abdication of the reigning Duke Charles Edward on 14 November 1918, the Duchy of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha went out in the wake of the November Revolution. It split into free states, Gotha from the Duchy of Saxe-Gotha in the north, and Coburg from the Duchy of Saxe-Coburg in the south. Both states kept their own diets and ministers, which they had already inherited from the former monarchy. On 9 February 1919, elections were held for the 11 seats in the State Assembly of Coburg. The list of the Social Democratic Party of Germany received 58.6%, while the list 2 for the National Liberal Party, German Democratic Party and the Coburger Farmers' Party earned 41.4%. That meant the SPD would have 7 seats, leaving the remaining 4 to the others. The president of the State Assembly would be a Social Democratic, Erhard Kirchner. The State Assembly passed on 10 March 1919 the temporary law of the legislation and administration of the Free State of Coburg, the Provisional Constitution of Coburg. The government would be run by the 3-member State Council, consisting of Hermann Quark as the chairman and 2 SPD deputies, Franz Klingler and Reinhold Artmann. The separation of the 2 parts of the former duchy was finally complete on 12 April 1919, when a state treaty covering the management of the common administration of the Free States of Coburg and Gotha was signed. On 7 June 1919, Duke Charles Edward finalized the settlement with the Free State of Coburg over his properties and compensation. He received 1.5 million marks as his compensation for his following properties: approximately 4,500 hectares of forests, numerous buildings and individual properties, as well as the art treasures of the West-Coburg, the West's Courtyard Garden Museum, his personal library, the Ducal Theatre, the Schloss Rosenarnitz estate, the West-Coburg, the Schloss Ehrenburg, and the State Archives of Coburg. The art treasures of the West, the collections of the courtyard museums and the furnishing of the Schloss Ehrenburg would be the property of the Coburger Landesstiftung, while the rest would go to the Free State. The Schloss Kallenberg, with its estate and gardens, the Schloss Eichhorn, and the Schweizerei Rosenau remained the property of the Duke, with the total area of 533 hectares. The National Liberal Quark, according to the Constitution of 10 March 1919, held the most senior position in the government and administration. He was both the chairman of the state government and the head of the Department of State. After the SPD fraction, which had the majority in the State Assembly, named Reinhold Artmann to represent Coburg in the State Council of Thuringia, he rejoined Quark in their offices on 2 July 1919. This was followed on the 11th of July 1919 by a constitutional amendment that abolished the personal union of the State Council and Assembly. Franz Klingler was then named as the new chairman of the state government, and Hans Schack became the newest member of the State Council of Coburg. The leadership of the ministry was given to Ernst Fritsch, an administrative lawyer, with the official title of secretary. Since the political leaders did not consider the new Free State as economically viable, they sought a union with another state. It was therefore assumed in March and May 1919 that the conferences with other Thuringian states would create the State of Thuringia, but, ultimately, they did not result in an agreement that would please all the sides. Along with these conferences, official negotiations for a possible merger began, with Bavaria in the middle of June and with Prussia 1 month later. However, Prussia had already declined the proposed union as early as August. but Bavaria was receptive to the merger. Unlike the state of Thuringia, it was able to make many concessions, especially on the matter of the preservation of the cultural institutions of Coburg. On the 30th of November 1919, the first democratic referendum in Germany was finally held to determine the future of the Coburger land. With a turnout of about 70%, 88% of the population voted on the question. Soll Coburg dem Gemeinschaftsvertrag der Thuringischen Staaten beitreten, with a no on the ballot and therefore for the merger with Bavaria. The reasons for this clear-cut result were manifold. On the one hand, the people had always seen themselves more strongly associated with Franconia than with Thuringia. On the other hand, they were influenced by the fact that, during the First World War, food had to be sent to Thuringia, as well as by the significantly stronger accommodation with the views of Bavaria. With a new state treaty signed on the 14th of February 1920, the Union of Coburg with Bavaria was set. In it, Coburg was given financial guarantees for its state foundation, its agricultural and forestry trade associations, its Chamber of Commerce, from which the Chamber of Trade section became the new Chamber of Trades, the State Hospital and the Landestheater Coburg. In addition, Coburg received as its compensation for the loss of the state ministry the commitment for a new regional court of law. The Free State of Bavaria was therefore committing itself to undertake the maximum of 40% of the deficit of the state theatre and 75% of the state hospital. Therefore, with the union of the Free States of Coburg and Bavaria on the 1st of July 1920, almost 600 years of political autonomy of the Coburger land came to its end. According to the state treaty, the Free State of Coburg would be assigned to the district of Königsberg with the town of Königsberg as well as the communities of Altershausen, Dorflis, Earlsdorf, Hellingen, Kottenbrunn and Nassage were sent to the district of Hofheim in Lower Franconia. The referendum of 1919 showed unexpected consequences of the subsequent union with Bavaria in 1945 at the end of the Second World War. The territory of the former Free State of Coburg became a part of the American occupation zone of Germany, while the Thuringian side stayed in the Soviet occupation zone and later East Germany until 1990. Politics. State government in office from the 10th of March 1919 to the 1st of July 1920. Reinhold Hartmann, Franz Xavier Klingler, Hermann Quark, until the 8th of July 1919. Hans Waldemar Schack, after the 11th of July 1919. Deputies of the State Assembly Social Democratic Party of Germany. Reinhold Hartmann from Coburg. Carpenter. Erhard Kirchner from Neustadt bei Coburg. Manager et Allgemeiner Ortskrankenkasse and President of the State Assembly. Franz Xavier Klingler from Coburg. Editor of the newspaper, the Coburger Volksblatt. Bernhard Lau from Neustadt bei Coburg, employee at AOK. Hermann Mampel from Coburg, administrative assistant at AOK. Johann Stegner from Fronlach, brewer and innkeeper. Karl Wendt from Rodig, machinist. Other parties and independents. Max Oskar Arnold from Neustadt bei Coburg, manufacturer of dolls. Hans Waldemar Schack from Coburg, judge of the district courts. Ernst Kulbel from Coburg, malt maker. Gustav Hess from Newsers bei Coburg, farmer. Cities and communities. 4 cities: Coburg, Neustadt bei Coburg, Rodig bei Coburg, Königsberg. 139 communities: Alstadt, Ahorn, Acher, Beiersdorf, Bertelsdorf, Buerfeld, Bieberbach, Berkachim Forst, Birkig, Blumenrod, Boderndorf, Breitenau, Brux, Buchenrod. Kallenberg, Kortendorf, Kreidlitz, Dorfels, Drossenhausen, Ebersdorf bei Coburg, Ebersdorf bei Neustadt, Einberg, Elsa Esbach, Fetchheim, Fischbach, Fordbach, Frieschendorf, Fronlach, Fürthenberg, Gaustadt, Gestungshausen, Gossenberg, Grazstadt, Großgarnstadt, Großheirath, Großwalbur, Grabenforst, Haarbrucken, Harth, Hassenberg, Heldret, Herbersdorf, Hohn, Hoffen der Steinig, Horben der Steinig, Horb bei Fürthenberg, Kematen, Getchenbach, Getchendorf, Kipfendorf, Kleingarnstadt, Kleinwalbur, Cosfeld, Lempertshausen, Lutendorf, Lutzelbach, Marenhausen, Mieder, Melschnitz, Meschenbach, Meersdorf, Mittelberg, Mittelwursungen, Modlitz, Munchroden, Moggenbrunn, Nieder, Neukirchen, Neusisenbrand, Neusisen Eichen, Neuses bei Coburg, Neu und Nierschiff, Niederfullbach, Oberfullbach, Oberlauter, Obersiem, Oberwursungen, Oberwolsbach, Islau, Oettingshausen, Ottowind, Plessen, Rogen, Rohrbach, Rossach, Rossfeld, Rothenforst, Rothenhof, Rottenbach, Rudelsdorf, Rodmansdorf, Schaffhof, Schoneck, Schorfeld, Schonstadt, Schweigerhof, Seidmansdorf, Sonnefeld, Spittelstein, Steinig and der Steinig, Stoppage, Sulzdorf, Sulzfeld, Thanstiefenlauter, Tremersdorf, Trubenbach, Unterlauter, Untersiem, Unterwursungen, Unterwolsbach, Waldsachsen, Waltersdorf, Watzendorf, Weichenbach, Weideck, Weidhausen bei Coburg, Weimersdorf, Weischau, Weissenbrunn Forst, Weissenbrunn Wormwald, Weitramsdorf, Welmersdorf, Wiesenfeld, Wildenheide, Welsdorf, Wellbach, Wassenerhorn, Siedersdorf, Zeichhorn, Ziegelsdorf. Enclave of the district of Königsberg, communities of Altershausen, Dorflis, Earlsdorf, Hellingen, Koslau, Kottenbrunn and Nassich. Bibliography. Harold Bachmann, 75 Jure Coburg bei Bayern, in Frankenland. Zeitschrift für Frankische Landeskund und Kulturpflege 1995 Heft 3, ISSN 00159905 p. 143-150. Karl Christian Dressel, Die Bestimmungen des Staatsvertrags, Entwicklung, Hintergrund, Folgen und besondere Berücksichtigung der Leistung von Franz Klingler, Thesis in History, Gymnasium Casimirianum Coburg, Class Years of 1987 to 1989. Jürgen Erdmann, Coburg, Bayern und das Reich 1918 to 1923. Rainer Hambrecht, ed. Nicht durch Krieg Kauf oder Erbschaft, Ausstellung des Staatsarchivs Coburg anlässlich der 75. Wiederkehr der Vereinigung Coburgs mit Bayern 1. July 1920. Esther Reinhardt, Max Oskar Arnold. Leben und Wirken für das Coburger Land. ISBN 3-981035038. Harold Sandner, Coburg im 20. Jahrhundert. Die Chronik über die Stadt Coburg und das Haus Saxe-Coburg und Gotha vom 1. January 1900 bis 31. December 1999 von der Guten alten Zeit bis Schwell des 21. Jahrhunderts. Gegen das Vergessen, ISBN 3-00067329. Jörg Siegmund, zwischen Konsens und Blockade Politik, die Übergangsparlamente in Sachsen-Gotha und Saxe-Coburg, in Harold Mittelsdorf, die Verfassungsparlamente, Landtage und Gebietsvertretungen in den Thüringer Staaten und Gebieten 1919 bis 1923, herausgegeben vom Thüringer Landtag, ISBN 3-898070387, p. 121-160.